best defense remaining in the playoffs belongs to Seattle?
It's Seattle,
right?
It's Seattle. It is Seattle. Denver's great. Like, they're great. I thought Houston was like, it's a shame that Houston's not in this thing anymore. But Seattle, especially at home, they just jump you. You know, they do this to teams, and I was on the ass end of these things for a long time in the NFC West. And I think it was like 7 years running we lost in Seattle, and it always felt like, when the top comes off that place, it's hard to put it back on, man.
Right.
And when it happens that early in a football game, and I thought the Shaheed move for all these teams that sat on their hands, right, at the trade deadline, looking at you, Buffalo. Shaheed makes such a big difference for this team offensively, but also on special teams. When you go into Seattle and you're not the better team, which San Francisco is not the better team, they had to do what they did in Philly, which was win the toss, take the football, find a way to go down and score, take the air out the building. And the exact opposite happens. And when that happens, try being in that D-line huddle when you jump that team. And you're thinking the rest of the game, with this home field advantage in an NFC divisional matchup, that's like a dream for a defensive lineman. And I thought the moment of truth for San Francisco came so early. You think about like when teams that moment in the game where you're like, this is it. It came at the 50-yard line when they're going for it on fourth down in like the first quarter. And that's what they knew they were up against. And it was either going to be a close game or an absolute bloodbath. And, that was the moment where it was pretty clear it was going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I love that Shaheed photo, if you don't mind, Hoskins, putting it out one more time, because you still see the smoke from the pregame fireworks in the air. It's 13 seconds in, and the smoke is yet to clear from the pregame action. And this is all the points that they needed on the night, because San Francisco only scored 6. And this is also a way, I had my fun saying, great job, Mike McDonald, to execute your game plan of not even needing your quarterback to throw with his bad oblique to win the game when you have this. I mean, to put it all together, and your sensibility that you talk about the D-line saying we're going to get off now. Just what a moment.
All day.
What a moment.
All day. I was always so jealous of the guys that played in that stadium, that rushed the passer in that stadium. I'm still jealous of my friends Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett and those guys, because they have legitimately the best home field advantage in football. And I think Kansas City is, there's a lot of lore there. But when you go to Kansas City, you have to play Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. Like, the team has something to do with that too. And I know it's loud there. Seattle is like, you can't hear from me to that wall right there. Like, me and my teammates would try to have a conversation. You could not hear it. Everybody talks about piping noise in. I don't know if they are or not, but whatever they're doing, it's working. That's the best home field advantage in football, and they have the best defensive football. And I do like them this weekend. I do. I think, like Belichick used to say, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. I think most people would have loved the Rams in this spot the first half of the season. They have not played their best down the stretch. So forgive me, but I kind of feel like Seattle's a hotter team right now. It all comes down to Sam Darnold taking care of the football. And by the way, he's the only guy in the divisional round that did take care of the football.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.